Hello. Sorry, microphone was off. so I hope everyone can hear me from this point on. We just want to. I just this topic came up, and we're gonna do this in folds. That we're gonna have to do this in a couple of different segments just to help people get it. There's something called information overload that I see, and I've done it myself. Uh, is to give too give people too much food they can eat at this time. So what we want to do is we want to get to your bits and pieces. So we're talking about a parent dry scalp. Not all dry scalps or dry scalp flakes are dry scalp. Sometimes it's dandruff or a skin disorder of such, but we want to focus on the apparent dry scalp. So we're going to just focus on the dehydration of the dry scalp. Um, and I want you to understand there are different things. This is not to say that I have the only way to solve it or that I know everything, but I want to give you my expertise of over 34 years in the hair industry, and we're going to tighten this rope even tighter on the next episode dealing with dry scalp, and we'll focus more on the disorders, quote unquote disorders of dry scalp. So let's start off. We're going to begin this. Well, I thank the Lord that we able to get up this morning and to be able to present something that is meat for your soul and for your body. One of the things that I know is when trouble comes, when troubles and trials are stopping you when you're trying to do something good for people, expect trouble. You shouldn't be mad. So we're not going to be mad at this. We're actually going to enjoy this and embrace this. So this is our starting point. This is where we want to dig on in. And I ask my customers also, what topics do you want to hear about that will help you? Oh, I forgot. Oh, mask up. And the things that we some of my clients want to hear, and it might have been because one of my clients at the time has a dry scalp issue. That is it's so many, it's so deep. So we probably could have like 5 to 10 different episodes on dealing with dry scalp and eczema. So, for instance, we first going to just say when I say scalp skin, we're talking about the skin that is on your scalp. Where we say scalp skin, so we are constantly reminding you that your whole body is skin. So while you're as a professional and you're getting ready to work on a client, I am examining the whole event. I'm talking to you. I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at your skin. Look and see if you have eczema. Look and see if you have on your face or acne or psoriasis on your arms, your limbs, discoloration of the skin. Because I'm trying to give you the best experience that I can give. And the best thing I can do for you is to solve issues, not just make you look and feel beautiful, but to resolve issues that you're having, present issues on the scalp. And at this time, hair loss is at epidemic proportions. But let's not just stop there. Let's look at there are major health issues. I think the hair loss is not a direct path. I think it's more along the terms of what we are eating, what are we consuming, what is our health like? Because our bodies, God made our bodies perfect. And if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, it's a mystery why we even die when God made us to, of course I'm a Christian, made us to live. Okay? Because if the cells in our body are perfectly replicating and reproducing, how can you get old? But let's not go there. So I just want to put you in my train of thought as I studied the germ cells, and my professor was a wonderful instructor. Open our minds to the fullest. Not just being a Christian, but having a doctor's degree, or understanding the she did her doctoral thesis on the embryo of the hair. So she took a step well before just having hair. She stepped back into, let's look at and deal with where it comes from. And most people think that the actual hair follicle starts in the soil or in the skin underneath the epidermis. No, it starts in the epidermis like a seed. And this is important for you to understand a lot of the things that I'm getting ready to say. So let's look at that. If it starts in the epidermis, not in the dermis, but the epidermis, then the seed goes down and takes root. Right? So then when the seed comes down, it hits the foundation. Blood vessels and everything connect to that seed of hair. Then as it takes root, it builds a sheath that comes up, and then the hair follicle comes up through it, and then you have that hair that you love to curl and flip, finger wave, texturize, straighten, leave curly. All of that starts. So in understanding that, this is why it's essential. Because I want you to see it as I see it. So you have this seed of hair that does not start where you think it starts. It does not start in the dermis, underneath the skin. It starts on top of the soil, the epidermis, and then it reaches down into the depth of the soil, the skin, the dermis, takes root at the base of the dermis, connects with everything, and then creates a sheath for the flower or the follicle or the hair shaft to come through and then birth into my phalanges or hair strands. And sometimes 5 hair strands or 3 hair strands in one follicle, out of one sheath, out of one orifice of the hair canal, the mouth or the lip of the follicle. So with that, my teacher would be happy I said that. And even I take classes. So I teach hairstylists, but yet I am a student. And I want to be the best instructor or knowledge sharer that I can, so I will always be a student. And so you understand this. Now let's look at, we know it starts in the epidermis now. The baby didn't start in the stomach. It started outside and went down into it. You get it. We're adults. So now you have this hair follicle. Let's go back. If your epidermis, your outer layer of your skin, it's the thinnest part of your skin, the epidermis is dehydrated, dry, or has some type of skin malfunction, this is called, in my book I wrote, it's called a broken gland. So I want to get the book, y'all see it, the breakage book, How to Not Lose Your Hair. Now in here, we call it a broken gland. Right, let's look at the word broken. The word broken means something that is not functioning or operating the way it should, the way it was built, the way it was constructed, the way it was thought to work. So now it's not broken. So with that, we have a broken gland. We have a broken layer of our body. The epidermis is part of the integument or the skin. It's in 3 layers, 4 layers. Some people like to say, let's say 3: epidermis, duris, and then the hypothalamus. No, the fixated. But we're gonna deal with the epidermis and the dermis. So I don't want to lose thought on that going into make sure we say the name correctly. Now your epidermis is important. What's in the epidermis, or what is the epidermis dealing with? So in my book, you can. I'm trying to tell you which page you go to. I thought I already had it ready for you. Oh, so please, okay. We talk about what's in the epidermis. We're basically dealing with there are 5 layers of the epidermis, not in one particular place. Are there 5 layers? Some areas there are less. So the main function, there are no blood vessels in the epidermis. The reason you'll get it as we keep going. There's no nerve endings in the epidermis. And the key element that I want you to that I want you to remember is the epidermis is supposed to hold 20% of water weight of moisture. So 20% of the epidermis is designed to hold and should hold 20% moisture. So when you're getting ready to perform a service on someone and you see a part of the scalp or somewhere on the skin, it's dehydrated or malfunctioning, that tells you there's a matter. There's inflammation somewhere, or the gland or the body is not functioning properly. So it's not just as light as, oh, I got itchy scalp, I got a dry itchy scalp. It's more than that. It's understanding the makeup. Thus why aquascalp is what aquascalp is. It's in knowing the function and how the epidermis and the skin is supposed to be. Now, if it's dehydrated, that means it's dry and it starts to flake. And if you heard any of my teachings about the tree planted next to the brook, one limb falls on the ground and another falls in the brook. The tree, both are detached from the life source, the tree. One limb falls on the ground, it gets dehydrated. It becomes brittle and fragile. You can grab it, you crush it with one hand. I'm a hero. I'm so strong. But anyway, then the other falls in the brook, the water, next to it. It could be there 100 years. I know you've seen some Western movie, or not just Western, movies with Grizzly Adams back in my day or whatever, off in the forest, and you come next to a brook and there's a tree that's dead and it's been laying there, or a limb that's dead. It's in the brook, it's in the water. And if it's big enough and you're caught in the stream of the river, if you hit it, it'll break your neck. You'll die. Let alone if it's a smaller branch, you can grab it and you can try to bring it and you'll have trouble breaking it where you couldn't break it. Why? The same tree produced both limbs. Because moisture is present. Feel me this. I want you to feel this. If moisture can bring a parent life to a dead thing, it can keep it around. And now it's getting more, we got stuff in the water all on it. It's still got life in it. The moisture keeps it. So, if the skin is flaky and dry, psoriasis, we first got to deal with the moisture problem. What is stopping the body to produce the moisture as it should? And a lot of times it can be it can be internal, it can be external, and it can be internal. Let's deal with some of the external factors that people deal with that they may not even realize that that's happening. Certain shampoos are not made for everyone. We all know that. But let's make it a little deeper than just saying the shampoos are not for everyone. All right, all shampoos are not. If I have, we're gonna just categorize it in three different categories: straight hair, loose, curly, and wavy. Loose, curly, and wavy. Loose, curly, and wavy is the second. And then what people say 4C or dry or overly curly hair. Tight. Okay? Now you have three hair. One, let's just look at it this way. The first one is oily. Straight hair is generally oily, or European hair is oily. Then you have loose, curly, or wavy. So this is not an oily. Let's just say it has half the moisture or half the oil to deal with. And the third, 4C or overly curly hair, is dry in nature. It's tight. The one with oil normally holds on to debris and everything that sticks. It's like getting your tires armor all. And when your tires go down a dirt road, they pick up everything. And then you have to shampoo your tires. You have to wash your tires again because they pick up everything. So that's one of the reasons why people with European hair or straight hair shampoo the hair so much, because it picks up, and everything that touches it, it holds on to. So they want to clean that extra oil off. So the shampoos and the conditioners will be dehydrating, or to pull away the excess moisture, the excess oil that is produced for that hair strand. Okay? And then half is just pretty much in the middle, just what it is, half. Some of them can go with that same shampoo. But most time you want to deal with one that's not as stripping of the natural oils as much as the one for straight hair or European hair. Okay? Now you have the one on the other end, number 3, which is the oval curly or 4C hair that is dry. Let's just say that. Just keeping it simple. That hair, it can't use a shampoo and conditioner that will strip off or design to pull off moisture or extra moisture, because this will be detrimental to that hair. It becomes dry and brittle like that limb, and it'll be able to easily break. So that's one of the things we want to look at. Now, we're just talking about the hair strand. Check it. What about the scalp? Sometimes there are shampoos everywhere, but you have to check it out for your body to understand. So you shampoo your hair thoroughly. You get it a good, vigorous rub and try to get everything off, and you shampoo your hair. This is one of the main reasons why I made this video, so people can understand this factor. You shampoo your hair thoroughly, and you do everything. But then when you go to dry your hair, you have apparent flakes. You have flakes everywhere. What has happened here? This is what you need to be aware of, because it can still, it might give your hair the feel that you want, but it still may not be conducive for you, because it dehydrates your skin, your epidermis, and that's one of the factors we need to attack, because we need to be careful. So if this happens, you don't have dandruff, your scalp is dehydrated. So you might need to change shampoo or follow. Some people do the old school oil treatment, or really you just might need to back up because it's dried out. Apply some aqua scalp, which is non-greasy, non-oily, and just a little bit goes a long way. So you don't need, if you use too much, then if it feels heavy, then you just use way too much for your hair strand, for your scalp. So that's one of the things we want you to be aware of. And in next week we're going to talk about internal things that are happening. I know this is a pretty short clip, but I didn't want to go over our time because we had technical difficulties and we couldn't get you started on time. But we will give you this. So if you're shampooing your hair and your scalp is still flaky, either you didn't clean it correctly or that shampoo is too strong for your scalp. So we need you to pay attention to back off, find a different shampoo that works for your hair type. So, your scalp and hair, your hair and scalp, because that could be way too strong for you. So what I want you to do is start shopping around. There's some great shampoos, and just because you have a color company, and they have a color shampoo, that doesn't mean that shampoo will work great for colored hair. You have to check it out. Everything you have to check it out individually, and that's my thing. So though I have a scalp shampoo, that scalp shampoo or therapy shampoo might not be for me. So I have to try it. We can listen to the recommendations, read the reviews on it, see if it matches your body type, your scalp skin type. Is it good for your hair? Is it good for your scalp? But check this out. You can do things that are terrible for your hair. Terrible for your hair, and it causes the hair to dry out or to break, right? Okay, granted, you grow out some more. But if you do it in reverse, you might not have a chance to grow hair out. If you don't take care of your scalp skin, no matter how good the shampoo is or whatever treatment you're getting is for the hair strand, the hair is an appendage of the scalp. The hair is dependent of the scalp. So we need to understand that and be careful of our scalp, because without a healthy scalp or the proper scalp, then we won't have hair. We won't have hair. So definitely check out. Make sure you have the right shampoos or different things you're using. And I want to tell you, if you're using grease, all right, look on the ingredient, and most of it's going to say this, all right? It is what it is. If it has paraffin, mineral oil, and you greasing your scalp all the time, and you're like, oh man, I still got dandruff, I still got flakes and everything, because you're not moisturizing the scalp. You just gave your scalp slip. It's like putting a plastic coating over your mouth, like I said in the previous episode, and pouring water on it and wondering why your hand is not wet. It just created a film, and it's clogging your pores, so the moisture can't actually get in. So though it may work great for your scalp, for your hair shaft, it's not beneficial for your scalp skin. All right, this is the little tip. So beware. I'd rather you use a natural oil or Aqua Scalp that has great ingredients. There are a lot of good products out there. My favorite is Aqua Scalp, and that's my product. So, and I made it out of love, and I looked at one of the main factors about Aqua Scalp. It's a water-based product. Why? Because the skin is intelligent. And when you understand that, number one, the epidermis is supposed to hold 20% moisture, water weight. That's number one. Number two, your body is mostly made up in water. Your skin is alive. When you get cold, it contracts. It regulates your body heat, the body's heat. It contracts to keep in the heat. When you're hot and you're sweaty, it expands to open up to breathe and cool the body down. So, what I did was do a trick on the epidermis, on the integument system, the skin, and made it mostly water as a way to open the body up to shoot in the good stuff, the good ingredients, the vitamin E, the glycerin, the peppermint oil, which we'll talk about the peppermint oil factor in next week on dry scalp again, apparent dry scalp too. And we're going to be talking about the inside of the body. And that's when we're going to talk about why the peppermint oil is great, different ways. This week we won't touch on it, but just first know that Aqua Scalp is water on the scalp. You know, for those that are Christians, basically it represents, you know, people know that it you know what water represents. So it's bringing life to your scalp. So you need water. A plant does not grow well if it does not have water. I mean, some plants may, but you're going to get a lot more plants if you have water. How many plants in the desert? There's a few. How many are in a rainforest? It's beautiful. So just making sure something is not dehydrating out, and so external factors, shampoos and other things that can dehydrate that scalp, and that can cause issues because you need that moisture in the skin, right? So you don't just drink water for hydration. You must also eat for hydration, and that'll be next week's lesson when we talk about apparent dry scalp. And next week we're going to deal with the inside. We deal with external, we're going to deal with inside next week, and then we're going to be talking about some inflammation and some other things that happen on the inside and what you can do to make it better for you. All right, take it easy, and much love to everybody, and love you.